Okay, yeah, so Zarya bubbles still an issue. It's kind of weird because like the fire rate of Ana doesn't really lend itself towards popping them or anything, so you don't really have that option as easily unless she's just so massively out of position and you know that she doesn't have like one of her bubbles at least. Then it's just like, hey, kill this thing.
Yeah.
Zen is a bit easier. Like in my experience, it's a bit easier to deal with, but like it still kind of results in like a lot of damage going out the window, just because like that's only maybe, I don't know, 2 out of 5 times, 1 out of 5 times that like she's that out of position that you do just want to pop her bubbles. So it's probably largely just going to be avoiding the Zarya entirely and just getting value elsewhere until you know that she's overextending.
Yeah. Okay. I do also need to recognize when to pop her bubbles. I think I've had so many teammates going, who's charging Zarya? Over and over again. When I'm not even really shooting it that much, so I become terrified of shooting her bubbles.
It's hard. It's hard to not charge her. She, I think one of the buffs to her with Overwatch 2 is that I think her charge goes down faster over time, but she gains it easier for damage, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I can't remember exact numbers, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So it's just like any small amount of damage, unless you're running like a Widow and an Ashe or something like that, to where it's like they're already trying not to shoot the big bubble anyway. It's kind of just hard for her to not soak up a little bits and pieces of damage if she's using her bubbles well, of course. Do you find that you're shooting into Zarya bubble a lot?
I try to avoid it. Sometimes she pops it and I'm already kind of dedicated in my head that I'm going to shoot, so it ends up going into the bubble anyway, but not really, not on Ana at all. I just tend to just not. I think I don't shoot a bubble maybe sometimes when I should, so maybe I could be wrong with that, but I just feel like I'm terrified of shooting the bubble in any situation at all.
When you say that she's like already dedicated a bubble and you're like committed, is that when she's like walking on top of you? Usually, do you think?
No, more. I mean, like basically, I'm ADS'd. I don't think she's got the bubble up, but when I go to shoot, she like pops it up in that second, so I shoot the bubble by accident. So it's kind of like I don't really tend to shoot the bubble ever. If I shoot the bubble, it's because I'm too hard focused that I'm going to shoot her, and then my attention's gone elsewhere.
But like,
I just end up shooting the bubble.
Yeah, that's always going to happen. You can't really avoid that. But do you continue to shoot the bubble after like the first shot?
No.
Okay, then yeah, you're fine. That's all you could really do. Like the change that I made to my gameplay to avoid that more and more is just like same thing with Genji deflect and a couple other things. Just if I don't know if they have it, then I shoot them once, pause for a second mentally before I take the next shot, because a lot of times they'll wait until they take some amount of damage before they use those abilities. So you're kind of just trying to bait it out. Basically, but like taking that mental note of I'm just gonna click once, wait to see what happens, click once, wait to see what happens, until it's just like, okay, she doesn't have like anything if she isn't clicking them by now.
Yeah,
that's all you could really do though, and it sounds like you're probably getting the same effect whether or not you're implementing that thought process to it. So yeah, it might just be like, you know, just avoiding her and just looking at other things, which can be a little awkward. Since I'm going to be uploading this just for everyone else who's curious, basically replays are a little funny right now and are crashing people's Overwatch clients when skipping around. So what I've done is I've just record the whole thing here and we'll just go over that. But yeah. Do you have any other questions for this game? I don't know how much. You said it was kind of just a random game. Other than Zarya, was there anything that stuck out?
Honestly, I can't remember. When I did it, I tried to pick a close one and maybe one that I had some kind of question about. But at this point, I guess it's just kind of positioning and the Zarya stuff. I think that'll be it. But if anything comes to mind while we go through it and I remember, I'll let you know.
Sounds good. All right.
I will not leave a broken world behind.
Hopefully I didn't do anything too embarrassing.
Keeps the girl busy.
let's just say I definitely didn't trance off the map a couple days ago. Embarrassing things always happen. That's one of the
I hope you
games.
clipped it.
Nah, it's gonna go into the void. We don't need to see that.
Hot Fox is where I come from. Where
Okay,
I'm from,
so
the foxes
you guys
fight
have
back.
Sojourn Ash. They have Ash Widow. Kind of cheating here. The scary thing is they have speed with Ramatra. Okay.
3, 2,
So
1.
pretty much what's likely going to happen, or what would ideally happen with these team comps, is that a lot of your guys are going to try to just take multiple angles, or is just going to try to hold them with a choke. You just need to keep her alive and, you know, maybe take an angle for yourself. But ideally, your Sojourn and Ash are, you know, doing their own things from two different sides that anytime they walk in, or is it just keeps them in the choke and they're just getting blasted from two ends at the same time, plus your nades. Maybe your Kiriko's taking another angle, who knows.
Yeah.
The scary thing is you gotta stay off the ground, because if you're not on the ground, then their Lucio and Ramatra could just run at whatever they want, if they time it well. They still
They're
can
like a
do
weird
that
mix.
if Lucio and Ramatra.
No, I mean, they've got Lucio and Ramatra, and they've got an Ash and a Widowmaker.
Yeah,
which I don't remember being a thing.
It is a little funky. If this was like a full team, I would probably be saying that like the Ramatra and Lucio are probably more so just like forcing people out of good positions into these the DPS sightlines, more or less. If not just straight up killing things themselves if they find something isolated. Their difficulty is going to be getting onto Orisa. So that's kind of the biggest thing that she needs to be doing, just be the Great Wall of Orisa. But the biggest thing is staying off of the ground, so that way they don't have as much ways to run at you. Like more disciplined teams would like take this in stages. Like Ramatra gets around the Orisa to like down here, where like Ana can still heal from, you know, behind the choke, and he's not taking, you know, so much damage with his Lucio, and then they run up at you on high ground basically. But we'll see if we see anything like that here.
Attackers incoming.
Yeah. I will say I usually do start off not here. I think this is me experimenting with my position a little bit. I see the sniper in the back out, because usually I'll be up above here.
And you're wanting to look at mostly just positioning, yeah?
Yeah.
Or do you want like a diagnosis for like what stuff you could?
Should we do a new diagnosis? Seeing as I've been working on my positioning for a while, so we'll see if there's anything else that you think is actually now more of an issue potentially than that.
Yeah,
I
sure.
guess.
The thing that stuck out to me there is like the position's good, at least for a starting position. You could always like walk your way over to the doorway and then find a moment to walk up onto the high ground on the left there. You know, I'm assuming you're just going for a quick initial nade here.
Yeah.
Unfortunate that it slaps your Ash in the back of the head. The only thing I'll say is that like by the time that nade runs out, like they're going to be, or sorry, by the time they walk into the choke, the nade's already gonna have its effect basically. So if this is just like an ult charge nade, I think maybe starting off down here at this window and then just nading the doorway, so that way they take the like 10 or so seconds to like, you know, deal with that, walk forward into the choke, and then by that point you basically already have the nade again. The only issue is that like they're so far back that you can't really do much with it, even if it did land. It's good ult charge, but sometimes you need that for the fight.
I won't let you fall.
Good spot. Ooh.
Close your eyes. I'm reloading. Heal up.
That seems to just be your Kiriko got sniped on the high ground and then, you know, just forced out basically.
Yeah, as soon as we saw the sniper, this is a good question actually. As soon as we saw the sniper, we all freaking jumped off high. I'll try not to swear. They all jumped off
Oh, no, you're
high
good.
there.
I don't
like,
care about swearing.
should you? Should you? Oh, well, I don't know. YouTube's weird about that. But should we stay up there or
I think so.
Because obviously there's a sniper there.
As long as you can.
Yep.
So while you're up here, let me find a good spot.
I honestly, I think I jumped off thinking that the Kiriko. Oh, I noticed that the Kiriko was there already, and another thing I've been trying to do is not stack supports. Because if your two supports are in the same angle, then if somebody goes off on a different angle that you can't heal them on or whatever, I just feel like it's better not to have two supports sat on each other. So if the Kiriko's here, I want to be somewhere else. So I kind of jump off, and I don't expect us all to abandon ship as soon as we see the sniper. So I guess it would have been better if two of us had stayed up there, but not necessarily me and the Kiriko. I don't know.
I think it's fine as the fight develops to be at least somewhat stacked, like while you're figuring things out.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on your team comp. It largely depends on what the enemy team has as well. But let me find...
Is it a good habit to build to try and not stack with my other support? Because this is just something that I've kind of recently thought, actually, maybe I should be...
It depends on a lot. So, for instance, a Brig Ana, that's a classic, like, lots of times, depending on the map, you'll find your Brig just, like, standing on the Ana. Sometimes not even doing much else. Usually they should be taking an angle, like some kind of flank route that people might try to dive the Ana through, and she just holds forward of that, so that way they have to run into her first before they even get close to her. But lots of times she just finds herself standing directly on your Ana. But the thing is with Brig, she can't really do much with an angle. And that's kind of one of the big things with it, whether or not you could do things with those angles and kill threat on your supports. If, for instance, let's say they're running dive, sometimes it's worth it to have your, let's say like Zen and Ana close together, just because they could peel for each other. But you also don't want them directly on top of each other because, you know, like a Winston bubble can block the heals and everything, but like it's a lot easier to walk outside the bubble if someone already is outside of the bubble to get healed. Ball slams become, you know, just slamming one person instead of two. It's also just easier to heal somebody that's being dove when you're not also being dove.
Yeah.
But if they don't have that, then, you know, you can stack together potentially if it's a really good position, and if your DPS are also taking their angles. I think it's probably a good idea to get used to taking those angles and then recognizing when it's not needed, or I think stacking on top of each other should be like the exception to the rule, I guess. We're on Hollywood. I was just gonna show the sniper thing. I probably should have had Overwatch open and everything while we're setting everything up, but I thought I did. I don't know why. Oh, right, because we were checking the replay bug thing.
Yeah.
So I think this position's still fine to hold if they have a sniper. You just got to be careful because you either hug this wall, and you know, you really have to time your peaks with like when the Widow's not looking, or you play so far back that like she can't really see you, like depending on where she's at. If she's up on this height, then, you know, maybe playing right here is a little bit safer because you could just kind of duck out as you need. This can be a spot. It's a little bit scarier to kite from. If you're a Kiriko, this is fine because you just TP out. So you could even get a little funky with this angle. But it's fine. It's a little bit scary though, because yeah, it doesn't have too much cover, but the bits of cover that it does provide are enough. At that point, it's not so much like you're mostly trying to bait her attention at that point. As soon as you know that she's looking at you, you got to make sure that you don't look at her and try to find other things to do. That's why over here can be kind of nice, you know, if we're able to escape. The only scary thing is, in your case, with the Ramatra and Lucio, they could just run directly up these stairs at you. But some heroes, it's an option. If they don't have the Lucio, then, and you know, you're paying attention to, is this guy walking through the choke or has the ability to, then you just gotta leave. Maybe take a quick shot at the Widow and then immediately hide. Because, like, you know, she's probably not going to notice this on time. Maybe very high ranks, they'll get used to, like, seeing, oh, my Ramatra's pushing there and I saw Ana in this corner. I should start aiming here because she's going to have to run away. But that's, like, a lot of big brain stuff that's, you know, harder to account for. Yeah. Not that I want to coach you on stuff that's, like, only going to occur in Plat, because you should be playing to, you know, the next rank higher and everything. But it's one of those things that, like, you could sort of play it better, but it shouldn't fully discount this spot from being an option. But I think the safest route is probably just playing this corner here and just be ready to drop.
Better get going. The Silver Moon Studios people aren't as patient as I am.
Let me...
Attackers incoming.
Where is...
Defend objective A.
Back to lobby.
Studios people
Let's
aren't
make a
as patient
scene.
as I am.
Skip forward here. Where were we exactly? I think it was somewhere around here.
I go out on my terms.
Does that all make sense, by the way?
Lost.
Yeah, no, I think those spots I'll be more likely to use is Kiriko, because as you said, it's easier to get out. On Nano, I don't think I'd have as many heal angles.
Thank you.
That's true, that is true.
But on Kiriko, yeah. Especially if I've got a DPS to support up there. There's a couple of spots you showed me. Yeah, I completely forgot about the sniper there. I was cussing myself out afterwards. I was like, come on, I knew there was a sniper.
All good, all good.
I probably just shit-talked my teammates for dying to it like 2 seconds ago, and now I just do it myself.
The payload.
Hostile posted Abashimi payload.
I need this.
Yeah, I think this is fine. Other than just forgetting about the Widow.
I don't know why she kills me.
Only thing I could say, I guess, is like, this is a pretty wide open position. Sure, it's on high ground, but like anytime you're crossing this should spring up in your head that like, this is scary and I should dedicate myself to like doing it safely until you get to the other side. Kind of like, do you remember when I was talking to you about that one high ground spot in Dorado? I could load it up real quick if you want. Let's see here.
Oh, is it up on the ledge when they're going up the hill from spawn?
Second point. There's... It's right over here.
Oh, yes.
So like playing this spot is really good. Playing this spot can be pretty good too. Or even the sign. But this in between is kind of like your danger. Like you have no cover. Other than if maybe they're standing like directly over here and you could, you know, just peek backwards. Or well, hide backwards. But like this is just a swath of no cover. And I don't use the word swath ever, apparently. I don't know why that entered my vocabulary there. But this high ground's kind of the same thing. So it's one of those like big danger areas that not only should you not linger in, not saying that you're lingering, but it should prompt like I need to cross this. Do they have anything I need to be aware of? Very slight change. Obviously, you've only had one fight, and the Widow wasn't even a factor for you directly, so could be nothing. But I'm sorry that. Oh man, I wish this was better with skipping. Oh man, just seeing the Widow go up the elevator and immediately get blown up by Ash.
I have you. Keep fighting.
Target's locked. Open
Okay,
fire.
so Roadhog.
I'll keep you up.
Do something.
This becomes more dependent on your Kiriko helping your hog out. Ooh. Ooh. Aw. know what you forgot
Yeah,
to
I
do
don't
there
think
again?
I don't think I noticed the ash up there.
Also, maybe it's a speed thing. Timing of recognition, but I think around right there, you probably notice something's shooting at you, and probably that you've taken some damage. I think maybe nading yourself. Maybe it's a little tight. Maybe it's a little tight.
I probably should have naded myself.
Maybe. It's a little bit more tighter of a time than I thought.
I still have some fighting.
I think the attempt could have been made at least.
Help me.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
I see you.
Do you have ideas on who you're gonna nano?
Looking at that, I'd probably be leaning towards either the Sojourn, or if the Zarya, if she's in deep or she's low. But I think I'd favour the Sojourn in that situation. I might wait for the ult, but if I see an opportunity to use it, I might just use it. Otherwise, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you know, like, when you're going to look for that exactly? I know you said wait for the ult, but like, you know, what if it's a not good ult, for instance? Like, what's gonna make it like worth it for either of them?
Where she's positioned. So if she's kind of deep in, then and she's not used a cooldown to get out, I guess I'll probably nano her. But I'll try and do it when either Zarya or Soja are in a position to actually do something with it.
Kill threat
Would be the intention anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. With Sojourn, it's mostly just like sights, like on an angle. You kind of have to like position, like mentally yourself, like what can she see where she's standing, even though I'm not standing there, and determine, you know, can she see like at least a couple of the enemies, so she has options, so that one of them just doesn't hide and then she's not doing anything. And with Zarya, it's distance. It's already just distance. You could also factor in Zarya's charge, for sure. A lot of people wait until she's high charge, and
How'd you tell?
she glows more, like a lot more.
Oh.
Maybe we'll... Here, I can... Actually, I could just change heroes. Let's do that just so I change heroes. Add an AI. Team 1. Let's do a Roadhog just to show. And Zarya.
We will crush
Oh
them.
god, the way Zarya walks does not lean itself towards move speed. This is so bumpy.
Fire in place. Gathering energy.
This is gonna take a while, ain't it?
Try me.
I wonder if, actually... This is gonna take too long.
I mean, I can join in, but...
Oh yeah, that works too. So lobby, get this guy out of here. I think you're... Oh, there you are. Where'd you go?
Yes.
Oh, you joined already. Cool.
Yes.
Alright, so... Let's put you to blue team.
What's easiest to charge Zarya? Sojourn? I'll do Sojourn.
It doesn't matter. I hear your feet somewhere.
All of us.
Alright. So 3, 2, 1.
Do your worst. Gathering energy.
You'll see me glowing more. And then one more time. 3, 2, 1, go.
Particle interdiction.
See how much more I'm glowing now? And also my beam. A lot thicker.
Are you glowing?
I should be glowing.
Am I blind? Try it again. Bubble again after when you're...
Right now I'm 60, so it should be going down. Here, I could just reset. And then,
Watch you
show you again real quick.
I don't know. Maybe I'm blind.
It should be like, there's a few like sphere looking things around her, like around her legs and her gun. And those things get bigger and glow a little bit more. Do you kind of see what I'm talking about?
Fair-looking things. Fair-looking things.
Let me see if I can find an image, Overwatch. What the hell is her name? Sorry. Oh. Okay, this is an image, not really a screenshot. If, oh, well, actually, I might be able to just look at the replay real quick, and skip once to see if it works. But there should be little glowy bits. But at the very least, do you see how small my beam is?
Yeah, I've noticed the beam being bigger.
Okay.
To be fair, so I did notice that part.
Okay, so that's one thing. We could do the bubble thing again, just to give you one more shot at noticing the change. I don't think it's immediate, is the thing. So like, take a mental note of how it look now versus later. But anyway, 3, 2, 1.
Try me. Frustrated? Good.
And then
Use
once
it.
more. 3, 2, 1.
Do your worst.
Efficient design at work.
I'm
Does it
not
look
seeing
like I'm
anything.
glowing? No, really?
No, I'm gonna clip it so I can show you later. I don't see any
Oh
glowing
my
orb, and I
God.
don't see you glowing us.
Maybe. How about this? I'll put both of us on red team, and I'll add a Zarya onto blue team, and we'll both just decimate her bubbles.
It's Kiniko.
Zarya.
Moira by your side. Sojourn en route.
Optical interdiction.
Come on, do your bubble thing.
Try me. Do your worst.
She's gotta have the glowing thing
Enemy
somewhere,
over
right?
there.
God, these are so slow with their bubbles.
Barrier in place.
Maybe I need to. I'll damage her a bit, see if she makes you use a bubble. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
They know to go for health packs. It's smart.
Interdiction.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
So
Oh, now I see it. Wait,
yeah,
wait.
You see the like red circles around her?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah.
spheres? Yeah. So that's what you're looking
Do your
for.
worst. Keep it
Oh, okay.
And her gun,
How?
the little purple glowy on it also gets bigger.
How much? What percentage does that like start?
I can't.
You know?
I always forget if it's like a hard cutoff or if it's like a thing that ramps up. But like this glowy of Zarya is scary for sure. I can look into that real quick just to be sure.
Engaging enemy forces.
I feel silly having not known this entire time.
Actually,
I'm on
we could
fire. Everyone
just
follow me.
reset her and look real quick just to be sure. Once she respawns. It's a pretty
I swear
subtle
you didn't
thing.
glow though. You didn't look like that.
Try me. Absorbing power.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
forgot
happened
to
quite
actually look.
quickly.
Yeah.
Your worst.
It's I want to. People refer to quote unquote high charge as like 50% or more. I don't know if that's an arbitrary amount or if it's like a just immediate. If you're above 50%, then you're doing more damage. If you're even 49%, then you're not.
Yeah.
That's your A game, huh?
But yeah. So that's a thing to look out for, basically.
Okay, thank you for sure.
Yeah.
Watch out for that.
And you should be able to see that in your own Zarya as well, or at least her beam. Potentially, if you're in comms, you could just ask her like, "Hey, what's your charge? I can give you nano." But yeah, long tangent for a question.
No recovery.
Oh, you could see it on her actually, right there.
No recovery.
Oh yeah, the blue orbs. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She looks like she's okay with it.
Breakable.
They might have just popped her bubbles, both of them. But right now she doesn't need it. But if they weren't all dead, then that probably would have been a good nano right there, to be honest.
Not so fast.
I don't know why I went AFK for a second.
You're good.
You're powered up. Get in there. Go time.
No, I did that either.
Were you trying to hit her or your Zarya?
You're powered
It
up.
looks like I
Okay,
was...
you track her. You track her.
Oh, I was trying to get the Zarya, I think.
Are you sure? It looks
I mean...
like... Why is this just not playing anymore? Hello? Are you still there? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
yes.
Oh.
Helping you out.
Okay, there we go. It's not much, but I think there's a play speed thing here. Funkiness with oh god. I don't like that. It's not much of a movement, but like as you come to peek out here just before the Nano, you kind of follow her same movement. Wait for
It makes more sense for me
Right
to Nano
here.
the Zarya, but I mean, maybe I did bugger
Oh,
up
wait,
there.
right here. See how you kind of like
Oh,
move to the side a little
yeah.
bit? It's
Yeah,
not
I
much.
don't know why I did that.
It might
she's
just
got
be
her
like a
ult.
different thing.
Yeah, I might have done it because I checked to see she had her ult. I mean, she's still in a really terrible position, and I probably shouldn't have done it. Maybe I looked and saw that she had her ult, and that's why I went AFK for a second because I was checking. I'm not sure.
How much do you think about chokes while playing Overwatch?
Clearly not enough looking at that because in my head I look at that and I think she's not going to want to peek through that choke that much. But then again, we need to touch it. No, we don't need to touch it because we've already capped. I don't understand why I did that. I understand if I would do that because we haven't capped because then we'd need to push out. But looking at that, that's a choke. Why would she push out there? It makes no sense. Why would I not know how to push out there? So honestly, I would like to say I do think about chokes, but looking at what I just did there, I don't know why.
I think if say you were attacking, I don't think this is too bad of a Nano. Just because like sometimes you do need something to like, you know, open that up to get your team in there. And sometimes just an aggressive Nano is good. I would say probably in that case, if she like was already going through the choke, just so you know that she is committing to it, then that would be slightly better timing. But I think like using it to enable her to walk through a choke is fine if you're attacking. But since you're on defense,
Not on defense. No.
you're kind of just trying to bleed out time. You're not trying to force anything from them. You're trying to punish them for their own mistakes usually. Or, you know, like the mistake might be that they've walked into a vulnerable position, and then that's when you try to punish them. If I pull up the... Actually, no, I'm going to go fancy. We're going to use...
It's fancier than paint.
Mildly. This is something I use for like game dev stuff, but it's an infinite canvas, so I could zoom out really, really far if I remember the buttons for it. Really, really far, and I can zoom in really, really deep. But basically, we'll just use. We'll use yellow. So pretty much, we're dealing with chokes. Neither team wants to be in here because you could have, you know, in the worst case situations, you could have basically, we'll just say something like this is your setup, kind of even-ish. The longer that you stay in this little danger zone here, the more that you're going to have, like, you know, this guy, like, slapping you as, like, Ramatra, these two guys throwing nades, shooting, these other two guys shooting. They all have, like, many angles into this spot, basically. And red team, you know, kind of same deal. The only difference is the objective. Red team, or, well, whoever's attacking has to push through here at some point. And that's their moment of vulnerability. That's where like a Mei's going to wall whoever walks through here off from getting help from their team. Winston's gonna like jump in and dive the back line so they don't get healing all of a sudden. But it's all dependent on the timing of when they're trying to commit through that choke, because once they're in, they're much more in danger. And what red team needs to do is either try to force something from outside of here if they have the means to do so. Say like you have a widow who's like looking for a pick from like really far away. Like, you know, she makes a snipe on this guy. Bam, it's a 4v5 for them. So now we commit. Or they just need to find like, you know, a second angle. Sometimes there's like some kind of route that they could go through like here to get something to like surround the blue team. Or you just have to all of a sudden burst through here and like live to force blue team back with like a sudden burst of aggression and take your own positions that don't revolve around this choke anymore. That's why that latter part's kind of why I'm saying like the nano could be good if you're on attack, because sometimes that's the amount of aggression you need to force the enemy team back. But yeah.
No, it doesn't make sense at all in this situation. Completely. Like, I'm looking back at it now and I'm like, I have no idea. Like, because she's got her ult, but as you said, she's not going to want to push out there. It makes no sense to push out there, so she's not going to get anything out of the ult. She can't do anything correct with that nano that I gave her. She either doesn't take advantage of it and lets it burn out, which would probably be the best choice, or she pushes out and potentially dies because she's saying, oh god, my Anna's nanoed me, I've got to do something, and then we lose the fight because she dies in a bad position. So yeah, I have no idea why I did that. I mean, I could see it if I thought that they hadn't capped, but I honestly, I don't know what I was doing there. Since
maybe it's because you've been thinking a lot about positioning for the past like what month now or so. But when you do nano somebody, like you have the concept of like she should have an angle, maybe timing it with her ult when she's going in and can see people. But do you think about that as you're going in? Like, do you have that mental checkbox of like, I want to use my nano, I'm waiting for these specific conditions to happen?
Yeah, usually I won't just kind of throw it out there unless I see someone like weak. So I'll usually have some thought going into it. I think maybe this is something that I need to work on next, is when I use my nanos. But I'll usually be like, okay, do they have some way to make advantage of it, whether that's like an ult or a position, or, you know, are they looking particularly aggressive? Do they look like they're raring to go in, they're in danger or whatever?
Yeah. Well, do you think of anything like specifics, like if say you kind of know where the enemy team is, it might be something like, if I see my Sojourn slide in, I'm gonna ult her. If I see her go on this left angle and my Zarya is engaged, then I'm gonna ult her. If I see her like walk in through this right side, then I'm gonna ult her. Like really specific moments like that.
No,
that might be
I don't pre-plan to that extent. No,
that might be it. Maybe. Sometimes you do just kind of like in the heat of the battle, just like, oh, I just got nano, we need something to win this. Let's just quickly try to figure something out. Who's in the best spot? That's on my screen right now. But you have time. Like, you've had the nano for a little bit, so you can afford to try to figure out stuff like that. And that does take a lot more, I guess, insight into how the different characters like to play, and you're kind of, you know, predicting what your team's going to do. But you could do the same thing with Zarya too. Like I said with her, with distance and the charge, it's kind of one of those, is she high charge? Is she close to something that can't run away from her? Such as like even just a Ramatra, she could potentially beam down.
yeah.
Or if she just is like walking in on something like really far in, but like still within nano range. Those ones are a bit easier, less like this exact spot situations, but it's kind of the same idea of like this specific mental checklist of, is she doing this? Yes, no.
So I suppose a good nano in this situation would have been waiting until they were committed or trying to push in, assuming that, so that once they're kind of committed in, then Sojourn can get something from it. But what I really don't want to do is encourage anybody to push out
Yeah.
because that puts us at a disadvantage. Yeah, I don't know why I did that.
If they're already
to keep
pushing
an eye on
out, then that's a thing that you have to commit to. Just the same as what I was talking about with like red team. If they're attacking through here, if they're going through the choke, they need to all commit to that and put resources into it, like in that spike of moment or of a moment. So
I'm
if
interested to
it's
see what
happening,
happens now.
yeah, let's see.
Because I mean, the Zarya was being a bit aggressive. I don't think she was pushing. Was she pushing up?
I think they might start pushing because of the Nano.
Maybe. Yeah.
وريهم قوتك.
Yeah, she pops her ult as well.
Helping you out.
Wait, where's her Widow at?
You're powered up. Get in there. It's go time. وريهم قوتك.
Oh, shit. It's brief, but she's
She's
in the
got
top
skill
right
locked.
corner. Yeah, the skill. Oh my god.
Helping you out. Covering you.
But yeah, Nano's really powerful. It only has so much time though, so that's why the timing's super important.
Ready
I think
to overclock. You with me?
if you were to Nano
You're
this
powered
fight,
up. Get in there. Go time.
I think maybe Nano and your Zarya right here would be probably best. Just because, like, Ramatra can't run away from her. She's already got high charge. She's not going to die. The
Yeah, I just
Sojournal's
noticed.
good. It might be a little
Yep.
overkill. It's kind of like Nanoing a Widow. Like, she's already probably killing people, right? If you're trying to make sure she survives and just could get the, like, left click damage in, then that's pretty good too. But the Zarya, like, gets a lot more value out of it. As long as people are nearby.
Yeah, I think, I suppose because we have got a Widow, I am aware that there won't be much pushing out with a Zarya if she does push. So maybe that's why. But also, I think I just heard her say, I'm ready to overclock, blah, blah, blah. So in my head, that means nano me. I don't know if that was actually what she wanted to say to me. So maybe that's a reason why I nanoed her there. I don't know. Honestly, I wish I could remember what was going through my head in this moment. But yeah, I didn't know.
Sometimes that's what people mean. I feel like I only assume I'm going to get nanoed if I press that, and then my Ana also presses that at the around the same time, like spamming it essentially. But even then, a lot of people will just press that just to tell each other, I'm planning to use this next fight, just so we don't use everything, and so we could play around this ult happening more than I need you to do this thing for me.
Yeah.
If someone's begging for Nano and doesn't get it because you did a vastly superior Nano for somebody else, then they can suck it, honestly.
Yeah.
وريهم قوتك. Helping you out. Covering you.
I do like that you were trying to counter-rotate against away from this Genji a little bit. The Nano Ramatra kind of gives that up. Well, I think it works out if he doesn't get
Ready
nanoed.
to overclock. You with me?
Yeah. And I don't miss the
You're
sleep.
powered
That was
up.
unfortunate.
Get in there.
So
Go time.
panicked a little bit, I think.
Yeah,
And it gets
I
a
mean,
pot shot at me. I get the Genji. I'm like, at this point, sorry.
so I think this because Genji has to cross all this space, so you already got some damage on him, and you have your Kiriko here too. So like you're not in a dangerous position if the big man wasn't nanoed in punchy form about to kill your Zarya.
Helping you out.
You could also say that like this would be a good nano just to like keep your Zarya alive against the Ramatra and be able to hold him back. The only thing is there's an idea of reactivity versus proactivity when it comes to ults. You usually want to ult ahead of time, so that way. Well, here I could draw another little diagram here. If you think about advantage, where's the paint bucket? Is there a paint bucket? There's got to be a paint bucket in here. It's been a while since I've used it. Is it this?
That looks like a
What is
paint
this?
bucket. Yeah.
So if you think of this as like how much advantage each team has, as soon as somebody ults, let's say it's blue team, like it's almost as if they get like another whole person's worth of advantage here, and red team is starting to kind of lose their advantage as, you know, blue team gets their value, basically. Like, this could be red team has a lot more damage, they're sustaining a lot more, they're getting positions. Red team is like losing HP, they have to burn their cooldowns. Now red
Losing
team
space.
Yeah, exactly. And this is like an overtime kind of thing. Now red team can also supplement their own ult, say like, you know, they counter with their own nano to like make up for it, basically. And that works to a point. This might knock down some of blue team's advantage, but the thing is, like, if it's almost like a percentage thing, like they're gaining, like, let's say like 20% of this bar versus blue team is losing like 20% of this bar, or something like that.
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah, they're like not losing
They're
as
gaining
much.
less
They've
for
already
it,
gained
yeah.
that advantage, basically. Like, say they've already killed somebody by the time you throw your nano
Yeah.
out, or like they've
They've
already
already got
gained
the
the
better
positions.
angles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Okay.
so they're probably going to maintain their advantage a little bit if you don't like almost immediately ult or like immediately counter with something, if that makes sense.
Like 2 ults or something to overblow it back.
Yeah, exactly. And this works the same thing with deaths or kills on each team as well. If say your team gets an early pick, you don't really need to rush things too much. Like, you do still want to like commit to a fight and not just kind of let the enemy team get their respawn back or anything. But you don't have to like try to rush to get a second kill like in the next few seconds or anything like that. That's what the team who lost their member needs to do. They need to get a trade immediately, because the longer that they're waiting, the more of an advantage that the enemy team is getting over them, and the more difficult it is to get that kill, basically. Usually that's from like, I don't know, like if they've traded like Genji's cooldowns and like a nade and I don't know, something else from some other hero has like used one of their cooldowns in order to get that kill. You gotta make something happen before they have their cooldowns back, basically. But in any case, as far as ults go, this kind of leans itself more towards like you want to try to ult first when you can. And as far as like responding to ults, you want to try to make that as quick as you can, but still make it a decent one. That's where like we get into talking about like forced ults and all that. Sometimes they're not good, so they're not as valuable. That's one of the reasons why, you know, reacting to stuff happening isn't as good. Because, you know, they're just usually not good situations. But, but yeah, so that's where this could kind of potentially work, but then it runs into that issue of, you know, reacting.
Well, at least I started to rotate away from the Genji, because in the past I wouldn't have even done that.
Yeah, no, that was good, honestly.
Oh, maybe this is where I get desperate and I go Moira.
Do you want any looks at Moira, or do you want to just skip through it?
Probably just skip through it. Well, actually,
We could just focus on Ana. Since you've been focusing on
skip
Ana.
through it.
Ana and Kiri.
I don't know. Do I switch back to? Oh, okay, I do. There we are. Not all is lost.
Yeah, when I record these, you definitely finished on Ana. For both the codes that you sent.
I'm surprised this one ended up being so close, because we were getting absolutely destroyed.
I've got you. Thanks for the help. The cure for all the game. That must be.
I think a swipe on the ROM there would have been really good. You know, you've played Mei. You've also probably dealt with plenty of Meis. You know how strong her wall is when like just suddenly someone can't leave when they've like gone through some kind of choke or hallway or whatever?
Yeah.
Your sleep can do the same thing. Rom right here, he's kind of toast if he stays here for too long. Yeah, that same concept of like, you know, you could go into dangerous positions, you just can't stay there for very long. With Ana, it's a lot shorter of a time compared to Ramatra, but he still follows the same rule. I know you're trying to keep Sojourn alive here, but I think you sleep this Rom here and he's screwed.
dead, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe even
Yeah, I mean,
Moira
the
if she's
Sojourn would
trying
have
to save him.
lived, so... Yeah, no, that would have been the better option. I think I did panic there and I tried to... Oh, the Sojourn's gonna die. But yeah, I should have stepped around.
Oh, where's your life fever at?
They were there. I think.
Why is this? There we go. Looks like he's behind you. Did you just send some healing? Yeah.
Yeah, he was with her. Like, I didn't need to heal her there, to be honest. I saw the damage and just panicked.
Yeah. I think one shot's probably fine. Then you recognize, oh, she's fine. This guy's backing up. But,
Yeah.
something happened. That was a good nade. If it was a bit earlier, I wish your Winston waited for it. That's another thing with cooldowns. The timing of them when you're playing dive. A Winston on its own, he's probably having a hard time killing anything, but a Winston jumping on a bunch of people that just got purpled at the same time that he's jumping in, like that's really hard to deal with for them.
Yeah.
So getting used to, if this was me playing, and apparently not my video player playing, okay, oh my god, please. If this was me playing, like, I'm taking the mental note of, I'm gonna, if I'm in a position to do so, anytime I see my Winston jump, I'm just gonna throw a nade in where he's jumping at.
Okay, yeah.
If I think there are people there. If I think he's just staging, like jumping to a high ground to make his next jump better, then probably not. But over here, there's a lot of people to nade right here. So like I would make this peak going in expecting to throw a nade at something. Even if it's not the same thing that he's like jumping on, it still means that there's less heat on him, and you might make some space to also maybe heal him. Like if you nade these two people here, they might not look at you for a second, you could pop in a couple heals on him, or some damage on what he's trying to kill. I'm thinking cooldown. Ooh, that's good. Nice. Oh, okay. Not you, the Winston.
I need to reload.
You're still up one.
Covering you.
Behind you. Let's group up. Better up high.
Aw, dang. Oh, disjointed with the timings. You and your Winston.
Okay. I'm amazed this isn't...
He just
This isn't like we get completely destroyed. I don't know how we actually make it to the end.
Hang on, look at this. The Genji teabags for a second.
I didn't know that. That's just rude. I got solo slammed actually before you joined. I was solo freaking
Reinhardt?
slammed
Like
and
shattered?
teabagged by that's
my
not the
God.
word. Shattered and then teabagged. I was like, wow.
He just ulted against the freaking Moira in his own spawn.
Yeah, maybe this was a good one too. I don't think I'm gonna do it.
That one might be the mechanics thing there with the sleep.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Let's look here. Just since you've also been looking at mechanics a little bit. The sound so
Flicker.
bad.
Oh no, I do hit him. No, I don't hit him. Oh, I flicker.
Wait, does
Wait,
that not? Is it the wall? Huh.
I think it looks like he kind of just twists at the last minute and dodges.
Maybe. Yeah, that is kind of funky. Oh god, this is so bad. Okay, there we go.
That's what you get for being so rude.
That looked a little weird for a second. I was like, I was thinking it was a flick off thing, or like you only go for the flick at the very end of the sleep dart instead of just like tracking him throughout it.
I definitely do that too much. Like 100%.
Thank you.
I need to start tracking with her.
I think maybe what could have been done here.
Taking damage.
Be back off
Powered up.
quicker.
Get in there. Go time.
I think.
I could have gone up the
I think-
stairs here on the left.
Oh, I think you don't walk into him here. Oh my god, please away.
Taking damage.
I think you just I think you go to like this little right. You can see my cursor, right?
Yeah.
I think you just hinge on this corner once you realize that he's ulting. Solely just to keep your Sojourn alive, just to keep that angle open to keep shooting her.
Powered up. Get in there.
And you could still probably go for sleep. Because like you back up for a second and then you walk into him here. It's not much, but I think the slight difference in movement puts you like around that corner. And not here. I mean, I guess I'm talking about like moving here, but like staying here would be less of a necessary thing.
That's what you get for being so rude.
Yeah, I was definitely doing the little Yuki thing though.
Just a little bit. Just a bit. At least it was for something. It was for the sleep, which like is really good against Ramatra ult.
Ice wall, coming up.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. This is our objective now.
Objective A.
I won't let you fall.
Escort the payload.
I think the biggest things are just like nade timings and ultimate timings.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so far your positioning has been pretty decent. Good waiting it out. The hardest thing to do in Overwatch is nothing sometimes, but it's often necessary.
I'm under attack. Disrupting.
Oh, she's going for that. She needs to die. Okay, she dies. Sweet.
I think they're getting a bit cocky because they've been kicking your asses the entire time.
Yeah. Oh, wait, where did
good.
you come from? Doorway? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Climbing that.
One thing I was gonna say, it's inconsequential here, but like, during this fight, I was just like, there's this door just to your right side, security, that you could use for cover. It seems like you just like blacked up backwards all the way over here instead. It doesn't amount to anything, but you soaked up a bit more damage than you need to.
Yeah, I might not have been sure that the right was safe space, but honestly, in the time, I don't know.
I need backup.
It's all good, it's all good.
This is not the end.
I just skipped forward 30 seconds to skip back 10 seconds 3 times.
Hopefully they saw that thing out soon.
Oh, that's good made. Ooh, good sleep. Everyone's dead though. Oh,
Area denial.
it's bad to be bad,
Probably me
isn't
too.
it?
No,
Oh,
no.
good. Okay, okay.
Why am I pushing? Why am I pushing?
I think, honestly, not too bad. So not too bad. Oh my god, please.
Area denial.
I think what I would have done is just,
Enemy over there.
I see that there's like 2-3 people in here. I think just throwing a nade in here quick is good. You do recognize it just a little bit slower.
Damage.
Who do you get the Sojourn? I'm gonna assume you were aiming for the doorway that they were all standing in. It's just a little bit higher than it needed to be. I think it's the only difference there. It's like mechanics.
I have you. Keep fighting.
Breaking them down.
No recovery. You're powered up. Get in there.
I like the aggression. it's good that you. I think this is an example of like your positioning improving over time. Ordinarily, I think you would just walked directly through the shield and try to get the nade, and then just hinge on that corner, if anything. But you recognize that this is. It seems like you're recognizing this is a dangerous spot. I could throw my nade and cooldowns and such. I just need to get to this next corner so they're not looking at me anymore. Like, this is a really good spot. What are they gonna do? At least for a little bit. Eventually, they might look at you, but like they're dealing with the Winston in the back line. They're dealing with Nano to May, and you know whatever else is going on over here.
Get in there.
Nice. Oh. Punch the frog. That's really good.
Making an old woman
Probably didn't need a drop for that, but still need to get back up there quick enough, which looks like you're doing.
I am still doing that. I'm still doing the whole dropping when I shouldn't be dropping thing. I think it's less often, but I'm definitely still a problem.
No shortage of work to do.
You just hold this, sleep him when he tries to walk up to you.
I think this is funny.
Yes, I love it.
And then I try and boop him and he's there and I'm like, whoops!
Ooh, no yourself. No!
But,
That's
do we get the
probably
point?
that.
I don't know.
Not sure.
I hope so.
I'm on fire.
Probably. You do cap, I know that much.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you get it to overtime. Because it's 4 something, and you can't get to 4 without overtime. I just am amazed that we got it to overtime, to be honest, this game.
The payload has reached the
I think the probably the other thing, the more easily actionable thing is just nading yourself sometimes when you need. It's only happened like a couple of times, and that first one I pointed out like was a pretty tight window. It was an Ashe, missed a shot, hit you once, and then the next shot was a kill, so it's not too much time. That might be more of a positioning, tracking thing of knowing where she's at more than anything.
Yeah.
Keep fighting.
Okay, they're gonna work out. Good, pretty backed up. Nice. That was a really good beat from them. And you guys literally just like kited it.
It's go
That's
time.
good.
You're powered up.
His ultimate, not good at all. Ooh. Yeah, this is great.
Do I recognise I need to not be there? I do?
Yeah, nice. I really like this spot because you got the health back right there. Nice. Very good. Honestly, latter half of this so far, like you've been doing pretty good.
Nice.
Kill the Mahol. Score 3-3.
We'll see how the rest of it goes.
Broken world behind.
Just realised this will be on YouTube. It's going to be a replay of a replay of a replay.
Murphy, down.
5,
Murphy,
4,
down.
You're so right about that.
2, 1.
All right, Reinhardt.
Attackers in-
How do things change with the Reinhardt? How do you feel? Like with,
So,
is generally what you have right now.
generally what we have right now, I'm probably going to want to take more angles, to be honest. Leave the Sojourn with the Rhine, and because we're going to be kind of blocked up together, and I'm not sure that's technically going to be great because we need to be able to poke a bit. Is my instinct. I don't know what I do this game though. It's been I've slept since then, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to wait and see how that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be my automatically response, I think.
I think here the concept of having your core versus having people that take off angles is important. Your Ryan and your May are likely gonna want to work together, and it's pretty much your choice of, are you playing solo? Are you helping the core? or are you maybe like stacking with her Sojourn to some degree to just like really make her whatever angle that she might be on even stronger? Or your Lifeweaver doing, you know, any of those things too.
Yeah.
Lifeweaver is probably not taking his own angle really, but he might be supplementing Sojourn a little bit more. But yeah, the core's main job is probably to just kind of like either run at something and smack it and like make sure it can't run away because of Maywall, or you know, just like clearing out space for your Sojourn, more or less. That's generally what it comes down to be. But yeah, you're probably taking angles to some degree. If your Lifeweaver is, you know, taking care of your core, which he should be. He puts out a lot of healing, and that's most of what he does. So
I just walk on that. Okay.
not much could be done about that.
No recovery. I've got you.
Getting over to this right side, I think, helps a lot with dealing with this high ground. Just because at the very beginning of the game, the only oh my god, the only thing they have to look at is this corner. So like getting somebody off of that corner immediately is pretty good. Another option. Okay, let me get back to Overwatch. Maps. Hollywood. This is how I usually open up on Hollywood. Oh, we'll do Anna. I tend to walk for this car here. Because like I could, you know, I could kind of hide from the high ground as I need. I'm not peeking the whole thing. I have this doorway for another form of cover. That's pretty nice. It gives me distance from everything. And also, if I need to cross, if I need to be real safe about it, I could go through here. But it's, you know, it's not too bad to cross. This is maybe mildly faster. It's just closer. But it's kind of the same thing. But this is a nice car. I like this car.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to remember that.
Back to lobby just for the sound. Whoa. Good nade attempt. Trying to clear the high ground a bit.
I've got you.
30 seconds remaining.
Take this.
You might. This might be a spot where you try to go to security and open up an angle yourself.
Is that on the right?
Yeah, this is security. It's got all the security games. Everything. Maybe not even for long, just enough to be like, hey, we have to pay attention to that. Like, get someone looking there every so often, at least. And if they don't look every so often, then, you know, free damage. Because right now, there's a moment where you could start to recognize we aren't really pushing through this choke effectively. How long do you spend here?
30 seconds remaining.
Like a good amount of time. I'd say around here is where I'm like, I'm close to it. I might as well go check for some damage real quick. This is kind of specific to this point, but the general idea, the part that could be generalized rather, is that they have a really good high ground position, and you guys don't really have something to get up there to challenge it, other than just shooting from some kind of angle. Right now, that only angle is main, and they're doing a pretty good job of hiding from it. You could try to continue that, but right now it's just ineffective. They have the superior position. So opening up more angles on them is an option. Granted, the Ramatra's kind of making a mistake walking this way, so maybe it works out. Oh, but he gets lifted up. Okay, yeah. The other thing about all that too is if you don't use that angle, they will. Like Ash just got the dynamite through there.
Ah, yeah.
Our time is up. Push now.
Good nade. Unfortunately, though.
Round 3.
Yep.
It's just chokes. Overwatch is just chokes, really.
Taste of poison.
Yeah, I should have recognised it because they have 2 snipers, so it was an Ash and a Hanzo, and that was really oppressive. But at the end of the day, if you go through that doorway there, they can't destroy you straight away if they're not looking there. So 100% I needed to peek through there. I think maybe I was scared of it before because Moira chased me out there at the beginning and there have been Genji and stuff. But I need to start realising that people switch heroes. I got to switch up the way that I play depending on which hero they are, I guess.
Yeah, and also, even if a Moira chases you through here, like, I think the switch up, even if they continue to still have a Moira, is to just play in air cover enough that if she does push you, then either A, you just save your nade for yourself, make sure that you can sleep her, or you just hug a wall and walk back to your team, basically. It's just one of those, like, you just gotta be like careful with how you play it if she is being oppressive through there. Got 30 seconds. Let's see. Ooh. See how
This is where I realise their other healer's dead and I'm a Moira and I can't reach them up there. I'm like, yeah, this is lost.
yeah. Moira's, honestly, I would almost want Moira as like an off healer, so to speak, just because like she has to get in such a dangerous place to put out healing, and it's a resource. Like, I don't know if I have, say, a Winston. I know Moira is never gonna heal that Winston. Even as a Zenyatta, I'm considering myself as like the main healer, so to speak, for that Winston until he comes back. Like he's getting orb a lot more frequently than anything else. But yeah, that's just unfortunate. Like both like with this last round and the first round, just immediate pick with their Widow. But yeah, in any case, I think probably 2, kind of 3-ish things that you could probably start focusing on if you want to is just ult timing, both with trying to find exact situations where you know this ult's going to be good. Knowing ahead of time like who you want to ult is like the first step of that, but like, you know, expanding on that idea. At least when you have the time to think about it ahead of time, so that way it's not like forced. Because your teammates can make you can force you to use their ult too, the same way that like if you get pressured from an enemy team, if say like I don't know, someone's just like yelling like nano me right now, but like, you know, maybe it's not a good time to be nanoed or something. Maybe like it's just them and you, and like the rest of your team is dead and you have no picks. Like, you know, he's forcing you to nano him and it's not good. So like figuring that out for yourself rather than reacting to their play. But yeah, just those general things for Nano with Nade. Honestly, just like a lot of timing with the tank, I would say, and then nading yourself too when you need to. But that's becoming less of an issue. But yeah, just like a lot of times when your tank goes in, if they're you know, a tank that's actually going in, works out. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, more or less. Other bits and pieces here and there, but those are probably the 2 biggest things that will help with your gameplay, I think.
Okay.
Do you have any
I'll
other
add those to the
questions about
rotation. I don't think so. It's nice to see that I have definitely started to automatically think about my position. I still get it wrong sometimes, but it's definitely the cogs are turning at least now.
Everyone gets it wrong. Like every single person, even like contenders teams sometimes just like won't react to somebody who's like about to, you know, start smacking them in the ass or whatever. But it's a thing that everyone has to keep an eye on and improve on, especially just because there's so many things in the game that you do have to pay attention to that, you know, sometimes one thing gets thrown out the window in return for something else to be focused on. But knowing exactly what's the most important thing is never going to be 100%. So, you know.
Yeah.
But the positioning's good. It's definitely a lot better than when we first did our VOD review, however long ago. So, yeah, it's good to see the improvement. Makes me happy.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your help.
Of course. And if you have any questions for other stuff, feel free to let me know whenever you do. And yeah, I'm just going to end the recording now.